This is Story Recapped. Today I'm going to explain a fantasy comedy drama film called Big Gold Brick. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Sam Liston, a moderately successful writer, notes that he doesn't believe in destiny, fate, or the supernatural, but everything changed for him when he met a man named Floyd Deveraux. While promoting his book, Big Gold Brick, on a radio show, Sam recounts that he was intoxicated hours before they met and he was upset because his life was spiraling out of control. It has been a year since his girlfriend left him, and he hasn't been paying rent because his career was going nowhere at the time. After briefly contemplating his lack of prospects, Sam decided to take his own life. He packs some of his belongings in a suitcase and rides a bus to a town called Rochester. When he arrives, Sam wanders in the middle of the road while drinking booze. Not far, Floyd drives on the same road while eating ice cream and humming along to a jazz tune. Floyd suddenly starts choking on the ice cream and hits Sam when his attention is turned away from the road. After getting out of his car, Floyd sees that Sam is still alive, so he tries to keep him calm. Soon, an ambulance arrives and takes Sam to the hospital. Floyd visits Sam regularly at the hospital over the next few days while he remains unconscious. One day, the doctor tells Floyd that Sam is recovering quite well aside from his broken wrist and ribs. He reveals that Sam has woken up from the coma the previous night, but he warns that he might experience mood swings and it will take some time before his normal brain functions return. Later, Floyd visits Sam in his room and expresses his regret for the accident. Floyd learns that Sam is a writer, so he asks him to write his biography. Sam is reluctant, but he eventually accepts when Floyd offers him lodging at his house and a weekly cash stipend. Before leaving, Floyd tells Sam that he has a feeling that they were destined to meet. Soon, Floyd brings Sam to his house and introduces him to his second wife, Jackie, a successful attorney on track to become a partner at a prestigious firm. She often stays in the office late, claiming that she's avoiding the traffic, but she seems to be having an affair with a colleague. Floyd's son, Edward, is a freshman who seems to have a preference for causing mischief. Lily, Floyd's daughter from his first marriage, tried to pursue a career as a violinist after graduating from music school, but she got frustrated and had a mental breakdown during a performance. She came to live with Jackie and Floyd after becoming addicted to drugs. While having dinner with the family, Sam notices that his fork is tiny. When he asks Floyd about it, the size of the fork turns to normal, and he realizes that he only imagined that it was small. Jackie tells Sam that she's excited about the book, but Floyd refuses to talk about the details because he thinks it should remain classified for the time being. Days later, Sam starts interviewing Floyd to get started on his biography. When he asks why he's keeping the book a secret, Floyd reveals that he held government and military jobs that Jackie doesn't know about. Floyd confesses that he's done things that he'd rather keep a secret, but he notes that everyone will eventually read about it at the right time. One morning, Sam hears a voice coming from a Santa Claus figurine in his room. As he gets agitated, the figurine attempts to calm him down. Jackie suddenly comes in to check on Sam because she heard him yelling, so Sam explains that he's just working out. Floyd and Sam soon go to the auto repair shop to pick up the car Floyd was driving on the night of the accident. On the way home, Floyd asks Sam what he did before becoming a writer, so Sam discloses that he worked as a franchise operations consultant for Uncle Pete's Frozen Custard. Sam notes that his father is the CEO. He was being groomed to take over the company someday. However, Sam hates the job, so his father eventually fired him. Sam explains that he was reluctant to talk about his father because he hated him even before he started working for him. Floyd suddenly stops the car and tells him that he was eating Uncle Pete's when he hit Sam. Floyd thinks that it makes the circumstances of their meeting even more unusual, but Sam thinks that there's nothing extraordinary about it because Uncle Pete has almost 2,000 locations across the country. Floyd asks Sam why he hates his father, but Sam can't explain. Later, Floyd takes Sam to the hospital to visit an elderly man in a coma. Floyd reveals that the patient is his father and expresses his dismay that the man can't hear him say he hates him. When Sam heads back to the car, Floyd pays the nurse $50 for letting them into the coma patient's room. As the radio interview about the book continues, Sam notes that he had no reason to believe that the patient is not Floyd's father because he got so emotional at the time. When the interviewer asks Sam about Floyd's job, Sam recounts that Floyd had told him he was semi-retired and he works for a government contractor called Grand Bath Martlin. When Floyd checks in on Edward one day, he sees him preparing to break the cast on Sam's arm with a hammer. Floyd tries to stop him, but Edward goes on to hit the cast until it breaks. Later, Sam asks for Lily's help to put a bandage on his arm. Lily tells Sam about her job at the library while putting on the bandage, but Sam seems inattentive because he's distracted by her beauty. Afterward, Sam thanks Lily for her help and tells her she can be a nurse. He repeats the same phrases a moment later and immediately realizes he'd thanked her twice. However, Lily attests that he only did it once. Sam soon starts writing the book and listens to a recording of Floyd telling him about his work in the military. In the conversation, Floyd disclosed that he was recruited to be a part of a new clandestine unit and noted that they went through 9 months of arduous training. He revealed that those who endured the training were Ivy League graduates who had a background in science, particularly plastics. When Sam asked him about his current work, Floyd explained that it involves plastics, lenses, and lasers. Later, Floyd visits Sam in his room to pay him and bring him some vinyl records. Floyd can only pay him $300, but he promises to give him the rest in a few days. The following day, Floyd takes Sam to Edward's school to watch their star basketball player Lentil Beans Washington during practice. However, the coach tells them to leave because it's a closed practice. When they go outside, Sam suddenly hyperventilates and passes out. Floyd takes him to the car to rest and tells him that they must wait for Edward because he got detention. Hours later, Sam realizes that Floyd wasn't there to wait for Edward when he sees him talking to Beans. When Sam goes to his room one night, he finds Jackie lying in his bed. Jackie tries to seduce Sam, but he rejects her advances because he's starting to see Floyd as a father figure. Jackie, however, thinks that Sam wants to be with Lily, so she warns him that Lily is a junkie with deep emotional problems. When Jackie leaves the room, Sam passes out on his bed. In a dream, Sam goes to the grocery and sees Lily. Before he could approach her, an earthquake occurs and the Grim Reaper emerges to chase him. Sam runs to the walk-in fridge to hide, and he ends up falling into outer space and starts bursting into flames when he enters the Earth's atmosphere. Later, Sam finds himself sitting on the bench by the seaside. A few yards away, he sees a man trying to catch fish by the shore. Suddenly, a burning object from the sky falls close to him, so Sam immediately approaches it to take a look. Sam is perturbed when he discovers that the object is human. The fisherman turns to him, revealing that he's also Sam. He says that he's sorry for turning back to the sea to concentrate on catching fish. When Sam takes a closer look at the burnt corpse, he realizes that the dead man is also him. Sam soon wakes up after the corpse shoots lightning from its eyes. Sam immediately gets out of bed and sees a painting of a fisherman on the wall with a label that says, "I'm sorry." When the painting suddenly drops to the floor, Sam runs to Floyd's study room to tell him about his nightmare. Floyd tells him that he has a background in parapsychology, so Sam agrees to go through some tests. After showing him some pictures, Floyd takes out an old penny and tells him that it would have been worth around $2,000, but it became worthless after Lily painted a heart on it when she was a little girl. Floyd instructs Sam to close his eyes and take a deep breath while counting down from 6 to 0. He then tells him to focus on the penny as soon as he opens his eyes. Sam follows his instructions and starts bleeding from his nose as he focuses on the penny. Moments later, a small cloud appears above the coin. Suddenly, the penny disappears after being struck by a lightning bolt. Later that day, Floyd tells Sam that he has a special talent, but Sam thinks it's a curse. Sam begs him not to ask him to do it again and not tell anyone about it. Sam gets depressed after the incident and asks Floyd to give him a few days off. Floyd eventually finds the penny outside their house, but he refrains from telling Sam to keep him sinking further into depression. As days pass, Sam refuses to come out of his room, so Floyd patiently brings him food every mealtime. Soon, Sam starts engaging the Santa figurine in a conversation regularly. He thinks it wants to get rid of him, but the figurine contends that it's only trying to help him. When he starts screaming hysterically one day, Lily checks in on him, but Sam yells at her and tells her to leave. When Sam finally allows Floyd into the room, he tells him about the figurine, but Floyd doesn't know where it came from. After Sam tells him about his problems, Floyd and Edward take him to the fireplace to burn the Santa figurine. One night, Floyd learns that Edward's high school has lost to their opponent in the basketball game. Bean scored only 5 points that night despite averaging over 50 points in his previous games. During an interview, Bean explained that he's catching the pink eye, even though his eyes look perfectly normal. It was considered the school's worst loss in 7 seasons, but Floyd seems to be happy about it. When Floyd gets home, he pays Sam the money he owes and gives him an extra $100 as a performance bonus. Afterward, he takes him to an Italian restaurant to have dinner with his acupuncturist, Kimi Hamasaki. While Kimi is in the bathroom, Sam asks Floyd if he's setting him up with Kimi, but Floyd reveals that he's in love with her. He reveals that he started the affair because his relationship with Jackie is not going too well. After dinner, Floyd, Kimi, and Sam come across Jackie and her colleague, Bobby. On their way home, Floyd knows Jackie is fooling around with Bobby, so he assaults him and throws his bag on the street. As Bobby tries to retrieve it, a car runs it over and scatters all the papers, so Jackie tells him to leave it. Later, Sam parts ways with Floyd and Kimi to look for Lily at the library. When he finds her, Sam apologizes for yelling at her and gives her a fake rose. Lily gladly accepts his apology and tells him she likes the rose even though it's fake. While Beans and his friend enjoy an ice cream at Uncle Pete's one evening, 3 men approach him and tell him that their employer wants to speak with him. The men take him to a limousine and ask his friend to stay behind. A few hours later, the men throw Beans out on the street without any clothes. He immediately runs to a gas station and calls Floyd to tell him that some thugs beat him up and left him on the street. After a while, Beans ends the call in frustration because Floyd can't give him any sensible advice. Sam is unaware that Floyd works as a security guard at Grand Bath Martlin at night, but he soon learns Floyd's secrets when the men who abducted Beans show up outside the house and compels Floyd to come with them. Although they're only interested in Floyd, they allow Sam to come along. The thugs take the 2 men to a mansion to meet a business magnate called Anselm. Soon after an attorney introduces Floyd and Sam, Anselm asks an employee to read from a dossier listing Floyd's various aliases and various occupations. The document reveals that Floyd had been a con artist and an occasional gigolo. It further discloses that he's currently under investigation for fraud, forgery, and arson. Anselm soon reveals that he wanted to see Floyd because he lost a bet on the basketball game when Floyd paid off Beans to throw the game. He asks Floyd to make up for it by assassinating a visiting Congolese politician, but Floyd refuses, so he tells him that he must pay over $919 within a week. Anselm then kills his attorney, who is also his cousin, to show Floyd what will happen to him if he doesn't pay. When they get home, Sam castigates Floyd for lying about his past. Floyd stresses that he intends to come clean at some point and tells Sam that he can write about it in his book. During a game of table tennis, Floyd answers all of Sam's questions about his past and reveals that he asked him to write his biography because he needed a friend. Later, Floyd discloses his plan to rob a bank using a defective gun. He wants Sam to drive his getaway car, but Sam turns him down, so he asks his colleague Roy to help him. On the day of the robbery, Floyd accidentally shoots Roy in the gut, thinking that the gun is not going to work. Despite Roy's injury, Floyd goes ahead with his plan to rob the bank. When he comes out, Roy starts the car, but he suddenly passes out while preparing to get away. The police soon arrive, but they only take the money instead of arresting Floyd because they want to avoid the grueling paperwork. After the cops leave, Floyd takes Roy to the hospital and runs off. That night, Floyd reveals that he found the penny that disappeared. He tells Sam that he wants him to have it, so Sam gladly accepts the coin. Sam then tells him that the accident wasn't Floyd's fault because he wanted a car to hit him. Days later, Anselm's thug comes by the house to collect the money. Since Floyd couldn't obtain the cash, he visits Edward and Lily in their rooms to see them for the last time. Moments later, Sam sees Floyd escaping through the window. When Floyd runs away, Sam decides to follow him. Before long, the thug goes to the window in the living room and sees Sam fleeing to the woods, so he tells the other men to run after them. The thugs soon catch up to them at the parking lot and shoot Floyd in the leg. As the thug approaches Floyd, Sam counts down from 6 to 0 to conjure a dark cloud. Sam starts bleeding from his nose and drops to the ground. A few seconds later, lightning strikes Floyd, causing him to vanish into thin air. Soon, the thugs drive away, leaving Sam passed out on the ground. Sam reveals in a radio interview that Floyd's family held a funeral for him despite not finding his body. Sam wasn't able to attend because he was still at the hospital at the time. On the night of the funeral, a meteor enters the Earth's atmosphere and crashes into Anselm's mansion, killing him and his thugs while they're eating Uncle Pete's frozen custard. Sometime after the funeral, Jackie met with Sam to tell him that she had moved to the city with Edward and got engaged to an architect. She notes that her sister had seen Floyd in Las Vegas, so she asks Sam to tell Floyd that she and Edward are happy if he ever reaches out to him. During a book signing event in Denver, Floyd approaches Sam to get his autograph, but he immediately runs off after complimenting him on the book. Sam notes that he hasn't seen Lily since she visited him at the hospital. However, she eventually shows up to greet Sam after an event for his book. Without exchanging words, Sam and Lily approach each other and kiss before running off to the streets together.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.